when you talk about a roadie, it's you take one with you for the road. So that's really what this is all about. You just kind of take this and you we talk sports. Usually we talk sports. This is a sports podcast for the most part. I co-host a racing show. You saw the intro right there as the program began. I co-host a show called the Revved Up Sports Show, and that's an internet web streaming show. Usually once, sometimes twice a week. That you can catch that at revvedupsportshow.com on Facebook, right here on YouTube as well on this channel, as a matter of fact. And that also airs usually, as we had the horn banner up there, on 104.9, 101.9, AM 1260. Streams on the Horn app and at hornfm.com, which that's the flagship mothership of Texas Longhorn Athletics here in the Austin, Texas area, and that's been put on hold right now, as many of the programs have there on that great radio station, live local independent radio. But this program usually it jumps back over to racing, and all of the stuff that is about auto racing. But this everything that we're going through right there, and I just committed a huge foul right there as I just scratched my nose, and I know we're not supposed to do that, but this one right here, really, really good test as to how I want to use the roadie. I'm a real estate professional here in the Austin, Texas area. Possibly this could turn into a real estate podcast at some point with all of that going on. I can talk to guests. I can talk to all kinds of different folks there as we do this, but really what this is all about in this initial launch here on YouTube Live, what you really want to talk about is the importance of needing to be doing what people are telling us to do right about now, as we are working through this never seen before pandemic, as it is now. We're working through a situation that I guarantee you none of us have ever seen. Folks may see this that we can talk about the Great Depression and recessions and everything that we've been through, but what this is, and boy, I gotta tell you, that video looks a little kind of weird there, but that's whatever. Not going to get up and turn the lights on now at this point. We will have better lighting as we move forward with this, but this is something that we just continue to work through. It changes day by day. We're in a situation where we're not supposed to socially interact. Took a trip to my local HEB, which, if you're not here in the Central Texas area where I'm at, HEB is the number one grocer that has done a tremendous job of keeping all of us in line with what we're needing when it comes to household supplies. And just you want to talk about most valuable players. There are many of them through this. When we go back and look at the chronicles, once this is all said and done, hopefully, we'll look back and one of them is going to be those frontline people, which are right now the HEBs that I'm talking about. Took a trip out there today, and it's just so weird to actually go in a public place and to see everyone so apprehensive, and to see lines on the floor as to where you should stand, and all of this that is just so different for us right now. And it's a whole life that we never thought, many of us thought, that we would never see. And it's just it's the card that we've been dealt, and fortunately, for the most part, people are doing what they should be doing. You do see instances where people are not practicing the social distancing that they should, and that's an unfortunate shame, because whether you view this as the true event that it is, and I think as time has gone on, that we're realizing that this has escalated into a very serious health event, and a very serious situation that we all need to be very comprehensive of what's going on. We need to practice what we're being told, because it does appear that this is going to get worse before it gets better. So as you're doing whatever you're needing to do, you need to really think about what people are really practice or wanting us to practice, and that's really what we all need to be doing, no matter where you are. I mean, there's various points of our country where this is affecting geographical regions a lot worse or a lot different than others. Um, so that's where we all need to be together. And speaking of together, I'm very excited that the media company there that I talked about with the horn, as I mentioned, and of course the horn right there that I talked about. It's a cluster, a small cluster of locally owned radio stations. Of course, that one right there, the horn. That we're a part of. There's a great country station, which is Coke FM, and along with the Bat, where you get to hear the music that I grew up with. That fine media company, the Austin Radio Network, is a part of altogetheratx.org, and what that is, it's a really big gathering that's going to come together. It's an all day, all night virtual telethon. We can't gather a bunch of people together and have these telethons that you could in the past, but coming up this Friday, which is just a couple of days from today, as this is being shot live on Wednesday, Friday, April the 3rd, altogetheratx.org, and that's a great opportunity to, and again, to sit on here and say, I mean, times are tough for all of us. I mean, myself included, as a independent contractor with my real estate business. We're all facing such tough times, and there's job losses and financial stresses that we're all feeling at the moment. But altogetheratx.org coming up on Friday. And that's going to be a situation where you can give back, especially here in this Austin, Texas area. So this is more centrally located to us here in Central Texas, to where you can donate, and that goes to folks, to everyone that's helping take care of all of us right about now. And if you're catching this in different parts of the country, there are people all across the United States that are doing frontline people. I mentioned this a couple of days ago on our racing show. I was sitting here Monday, and there's folks out gathering recycling from curbside. There's folks picking up trash, doing that right there. You got medical folks that are taking their lives into their own health into their own hands each and every day. A lot of them with medical, personal protective equipment that they don't have, but yet they're choosing to serve those that are in need. So that's the folks that we really need to think about right now. So just keep that in mind. Just remember that we're going to work through this. If you're isolated, if you're having to isolate yourself in your home, if you're having to work from home, there's always situations where this could be worse, and hopefully it does not get to the point for all of us to where it does get worse for you. That may be, hopefully the effect of this is going to live on for years. I mean, we're going to tell. I'm in my late 40s. We're going to tell stories of this to our grandchildren about how this epidemic, this pandemic, hit the country, and I guess snuck up on us, and maybe we under evaluated what was coming our way. But that's neither here nor there, and we need to, with all the politics. I know everyone has political opinions and so forth, but it's not really the time right now to be, voicing any of that. I mean, voice that with those that are important to you, but don't get up on social media and be doing all of that right about now. This time, let's all come together and let's figure out what's going to be best for all of us to get through this. So that's the main course of action right now. Sports, yes, we are deeply affected on the sports side by this. And the next episode of the Roadie on YouTube Live will be sports. We'll get back. I will get back and talk sports. But to launch YouTube, the YouTube presentation of the Roadie, it's not about that. It's about the here and now, what's important, and that's the well-being of all of us and those near us, our neighbors, and for crying out loud, even for people that we don't know. So that's what we need to be thinking about right about now. So hopefully all of you are well. Keep moving forward. I would love to hear from you folks that may catch this secondhand on replay. And my streaming network is RPM Radio TX. So if you want to shoot over an email to rpmradiotx@gmail.com, and it's pretty simple right there, the rpmradiotx@gmail.com. And let's share stories. If you've got something that you want to talk about, if you're going through a hardship, send me over an email at that email address. If you've got something you want to talk about, I can get you on the phone and we can talk about it right here on the Roadie. So, but again, next time around, as we get to Volume 2, we're going to talk sports, and we'll talk to the lighthearted stuff that really is what we can fall back onto right now. That is helping us deal with all of this. That we fall back on, and that's really where sports plays so importantly into our lives. I think for so many of us, it's an escape. It's really an escape from all the day-to-day stresses and everything that may keep us awake at night. We all have our favorite teams. We all have our favorite athletes. We all have all of our favorite sports that take us out of the ordinary, sometimes very, very stressful and grueling life, that whether it be football, basketball, baseball, racing, hockey, soccer season, that it takes us into this other world where we can be with that team or with that athlete or with that whatever it may be. And with that completely gone, it's extremely tough. And that's something, I'm not ashamed to say that I as everything that I've been through in the last few years, just with life and whatever, I speak to a counselor at various points. And when I talked with her last, she said, "You got to be going crazy. You don't have sports. You don't have your side broadcasting. All the stuff that makes you get away from the regular trials and tribulations. All of that's just yanked out from underneath you. That's got to be a little grueling, isn't it?" And I hadn't really thought about it, and it really got grueling after she mentioned it. So, yeah, she earned her money that day, because kind of took me to a different place where I realized everything that was missing. But neither here nor there. Take care of yourself. Do what they're saying. Wash your hands. Keep that 6 foot. Keep that 6 foot distance between yourselves. And for crying out loud, don't get a party of 25, 30 people together and be doing things that they're advising us not to do. I just saw a story here in Austin where we had some students that had got University of Texas students that had taken a spring break trip, and a lot of them have come back, and they have this coronavirus. So it's not something to play around with, because what we're seeing, it was initially we heard, well, it's only going to affect the older folks. And that was the initial thought there as that first came to us. But as we're seeing now, we're seeing folks. We're seeing folks my age that are affected, and even younger. So it's not something to play around with, just like anything else. Usually, when folks are advising us to not do something or to take precautions about something, it's because there's actually a reason there, and there's rationale behind it. So that's what we need to take into consideration right now. So thanks for checking out episode number 1 on YouTube of the Roadie Podcast. My name is Rodney Rodriguez, coming from just north of Austin, Texas, in a gorgeous town called Round Rock. Look it up. It's great. I'll talk about Round Rock in depth on this podcast. Next time we do it, we'll be a little more upbeat. But take care of yourselves, friends. It's been the Roadie Podcast. Remember, rpmradiotx@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, be good. If I don't see you the next time, I'll see you the next time I see you. Take care.